When he first appeared as this show's very first guest, he was barely not a teenager, a young up-and-coming prospect. 3.5 years later, Teofimo Lopez is married. He won and lost the lightweight title, intentionally took an unguarded shot to the solar plexus from the world's strongest man. You remember the Mountain from Game of Thrones? Suffered a life-threatening condition and is now campaigning in a new weight division. Teo, welcome back. It's great to have you. What's the ride been like so far?
Man, it's been amazing, honestly. This whole journey throughout my course of my career has been definitely one to enjoy. Really, I'm only 24. I'll be 25 in a couple of days, and I'm just excited for this new chapter at 140.
All right, last time we saw you in the ring, you lost a close split decision to George Kambosos in a very tough fight in which he dropped you early and you dropped him late. Post-fight, you were diagnosed with a tear in your esophagus that a doctor said, as I mentioned off the top, could have killed you that night. You showed the heart of a champion in losing your title. Take me through it.
That fight, honestly, it's in the past now, but really just fighting through all that, it's just the amount of pressure as athletes, what we go through and through our course of our career, and I think that just as a fighter, I can't let the fans down. I got to give them a show no matter how I'm feeling. But I'm blessed to not be dead. True. And, I'm just looking forward to 140 taking over that division, just like I took over 135, beating the number one pound for pound fighter in the world at that time, Vasily Lomachenko, and just moving forward.
All right, you mentioned like the pressure that an athlete feels to entertain the fans. Is that why you went through with the fight? Like if you were having trouble breathing before the fight, and you got a 12-round fight against an undefeated fighter, is that you felt pressure to not disappoint people? What was it that made you go through with that fight?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it was just amongst a lot of things. The amount of postponements that they did on my fight. I think I had about like 7, 8 postponements during that time. I mean, getting ready for this one fighter that was basically dictating my career in a sense. The IBF and everything. Broke their own sanctioning rules twice. So I think that just moving forward from that and just trying to give the fans what they needed to see. I pushed as much as I could that night, and everything happens for its own reasons.
And by the way, that was during the height of the pandemic, and so there were postponements, etc. Do you think the shot you took to the solar plexus from the strongest man in recorded human history, Thor Bjornsson, the Mountain from Game of Thrones, you guys had a thing where you took, everyone's seen it online and social media, right? You're standing there unguarded. You let the strongest man in human history, recorded human history, hit you to the solar plexus. You nodded, you said, yeah, good shot. You were obviously winded, but you didn't buckle or anything like that. Do you think that has anything to do with the hole in your esophagus?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think, honestly, it's just from the amount of weight, basically the weight draining. I've been at this weight at 135 pounds for about 8, 9 years, and if you do the math, that's me at 14 probably. So, I just look at it now, just focusing on bigger and better things. And, I've outgrown that weight class, making that weight, beating my body, the amount of postponements had a lot to do with it. I trained my ass off every time. And, it was nothing different this time around. It was just the longest camp I actually really had for one fight, which was 8, 9 months.
Yeah, but the spread that your mom puts out sometimes with that food, I could see why you put on the weight, but you could see that your bone structure, I mean, it was obvious that you had outgrown lightweight and you were obviously having to suffer to make the weight limit. Sometimes that's an excuse for fighters. In your case, it seemed to be the reality. In spite of all that, I'm not done with the Kambosos fight yet, champ. We're gonna talk about this. The fight was close. Have you watched it? What did you think of it when you watched it? If you did.
To me, man, honestly, listen, the way that things played out, it is what it is. I think that, to me, I still believe that I won the fight, and whether people call me delusional or not, I'm the greatest of my time and my era for that reason. So, if that makes me delusional, then so be it. I think everybody needs to tune in August 13th to really see how delusional I really am. So, just looking forward to bigger and better things, like I said before, facing these likes of these champions at my new division, 140, Pedro Campa is definitely someone that I'm looking forward to at this rate. Aggressive Mexican style fight. It's going to be one to definitely entertain for everybody.
We're going to get to it. You also had arthroscopic surgery on your right hand back in March. How's that feeling?
Oh, everything's good now. Fighting Kambosos, I fought him with a broken elbow, and with my right hand, I had a torn in my wrist. So just going through the wear and tears of my body, man. A lot that had to do with it was the weight class. So I'm happy now being at this weight, 140. Right now I'm not too far away from my weight class right now. So, we just staying motivated, staying hydrated. Making sure that we don't create any more injuries because we're getting close to the fight. And Kambosos, honestly, I think that really when it comes to a split decision and stuff, you really have to beat the champion, man. And I don't think he did enough. I finished him at the end in the 10th round. I dropped him, and then moving forwards from there. I think that, a lot of people just wanted to push on and, kind of push me away to the side just so that they could have the Devin Haney become undisputed and all that other nonsense.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.